You may think that Rick Harrison, the friendly, history-loving, and cocky man on Pawn Stars, has a good reputation. But what the FBI found in his mansion is not only shocking, it could destroy the whole public image you once believed in. This isn't a story about antiques or rare items, it's about a dark secret that Rick has kept hidden for years and that no one can ignore anymore. Are you ready to face the truth? If so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because what's about to happen will change the way you see things. Music by Rick Harrison. Always the man who made a fortune by selling old things after years of successfully running his pawn shop, which made him famous, Rick Harrison is now at the center of one of the scariest criminal investigations the world has ever seen. The FBI has officially stepped in and started a massive investigation into his shady activities, but no one, not even the police, could have guessed what was hiding behind the gates of his huge mansion. What started as a simple financial review quickly turned into a much darker nightmare when the agents went into the house, they were expecting to find some problems with the money. Shady deals or at least scams in business, but what they find is nothing like what they thought it would be. There are 25 bodies hidden all over the huge estate. Some are in secret rooms, some are buried in the yard, and others have been found in the very dark areas. Harrison used to amaze people with his knowledge and calm attitude, but now he is linked to a terrifyingly dark person, a serial killer. How did this happen? How did a man known for his love of rare antiques get involved in such a horrible chain of events? To get to the bottom of what happened, we need to look into more than just what happened in the house. We need to find out who Rick Harrison really is and what he's hiding behind the front that everyone has always thought he was. For millions of viewers, Rick Harrison seems like the last person in the world who would be involved in such horrible crimes. He is the lovable and knowledgeable pawnshop owner who not only makes deals that are interesting but also makes people laugh with his dry, charming humor. He is the star of Pawn Stars, one of the most popular reality TV shows of all time, and each episode is about a rare crime and valuable old things. Rick is an expert on history and antiques, and he is also a model millionaire businessman. He has lived the American dream by turning his passion into a fortune. But what the cameras never show is the darkness that is slowly setting in behind the scenes. Rick's fame and success on Pawn Stars don't seem to be enough to satisfy him. Rick Harrison, there are rumors and whispers about a different person who is much darker than the public's view of him. When federal agents looked into his business more, they found a truth more. A nightmare that no one had ever seen but was kept in the mansion of the man the country used to trust was more shocking than any rumor ever told: music. As the FBI learns more about Rick Harrison's personal life, they find a pattern of strange events. There is more and more proof that Harrison's well-known pawnshop and the shady business practices of underground networks are linked in a way that is very dangerous. Behavior that is becoming less reliable. What was once a successful business plan and an inspiring story of the American dream is now shown to be a carefully hidden cover for something much darker. What started out as an investigation into money matters turns into a full-blown nightmare. FBI agents slowly learned that Harrison does a lot more than just buying and selling antiques and pawns, as they first thought. Behind Harrison's smooth appearance and sharp gaze lies a dark underworld with a wide reach to the criminal world. No one thought Rick used the store he was working in. Famous for hiding what he does behind the scenes, once a sign of wealth, the mansion was now the horrific scene of a shocking series of murders. The 25 bodies found were not victims of random violence, they were part of a cold plan, a pattern of death that had been cleverly hidden for years right in front of the public. The FBI didn't stop at looking at the books, they followed every lead and found clues that linked Harrison to a series of unsolved disappearances. Every new piece of data showed a different level of darkness. People used to think Rick Harrison was a great businessman, but he built an empire on lying, manipulating people, and maybe even murder. The biggest question is how he kept such a dark secret from his millions of fans for so many years. How did he keep up the image of a nice, smart, and funny man while living a sinful double life? The answer lies in how complicated he was and how complicated the empire he built was. As the investigation went on, it became clear that this was more than just a crime, it was a social tragedy. Shocked people all over the United States were shocked by what the FBI found. Not only was the number of bodies shocking, but it had been kept a secret for so long and so well. Rick Harrison had kept his horrible secret from everyone, including family, friends, and even longtime co-workers. As the investigation continued to find the truth, no one realized what a monster he had become. People started to think less of Rick Harrison. He was no longer the popular TV star, he was now a cold-blooded killer. A predator hiding in plain sight, and as more shocking details of the investigation came to light, the horrible things he did became clearer. Each new detail added another stab to the terrifying picture of a man who was once thought to play a part. Music. Rick Harrison, a model who used to hide behind the fame and money of the TV show Pawn Stars, is now the subject of a shocking probe. Not only does the FBI probe find proof of a murder, it also finds a dark side that has been building for. Rick had what seemed like a perfect life for years, but it turns out that his image was built on a lie, a carefully crafted front to hide horrifying truths. As the investigation goes on and more secrets are found, it becomes clear that this is not just the story of a businessman who died, it is also the tragedy of a man who lied to the world and manipulated everyone around him while keeping his deepest secrets from them. When the shocking truth about Rick Harrison comes out, everyone is shocked. How could a guy with a friendly, lovely TV faces hide such a dark secret that millions of people are still troubled by the question? Rick's story shows that the truth is sometimes scarier than anything we can think, even if it doesn't look scary. Rick Harrison wasn't always the well-known businessman he is now. Like many businesses, he began with nothing but a small dream and a strong belief in the power of a good deal. Born in 1965, Harrison, it wasn't in Rick's family that he learned about old things or things to collect before coming to Las Vegas. He grew up in North Carolina. It was there that the story that would change his life forever would happen. It wasn't easy for a young, unknown, and unbanked man to make it in Las Vegas, which is known for its big stakes, bright lights, and the promise of instant riches. It was a place that could crush and kill those who weren't strong enough, but Rick had something valuable, a sharp business mind and the ability to see value in things that others didn't. As a teenager, Rick started pawn shops and sold anything he could to make money, even if it wasn't much. Rick had a big dream for his small pawn shop in downtown Las Vegas. He didn't want to run a normal business, he wanted to make something special that stood out from the others. Rick saw promise in old things. Things from the past, things that other people didn't stop to look at because they were lost treasures. His love of history and ability to figure out how much something is worth quickly became his trademark. People started to come to the small shop to buy and sell things and to hear Rick talk about and rate unique items. Rick was more than just a pawn dealer, he was a real expert whose advice was respected and believed. But it was his business sense that really stood out. He knew that pawn shops were more than just places to sell old electronics or gold, they were secret gold mines. Rick began to buy a lot of different things, from rare works of art and historical papers to expensive collectibles. Over time, he became known as an expert at finding wealth and having an unmatched attention to detail. In 2009, Rick's life changed when TV producers asked him to help them find a family-run pawn shop for a new reality show. That idea turned into Pawn Stars, a show that showed the strange world of buying and selling from behind the scenes. From there, everything changed. The idea was simple but effective: show everyday transactions with real experts like Rick as the stars who brought their knowledge and insight to each item. With the humor and drama of the negotiations, Pawn Stars became a huge hit. The name Rick's Pawn Shop spread around the world, making it a global business. But Rick Harrison hid a dark secret from the world behind the fame that none of us could have dreamed, and when those secrets came out, the world was shocked by the truth. The most dangerous people are sometimes the ones you know best. Music.